Good, I'm going to forget. Okay. Whoa.
Morning.
Hello, everyone. That's a lot of faces.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Still getting some more coming in.
Yep, we're in.
That's it.
These are the prompt ones.
Top
See
mark.
what the likes are.
Give it a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Maybe.
Hey, Brett.
It's just the two fans.
No, these are all the people who are going to go cycle to Paris.
Oh, okay, but not going to be seen.
Okay, so we'll get started. I think some people are still joining, but we'll get going. So hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for so I'm still letting some people in. Thank you so much for taking time out of the evening to join us. If I could just ask if you could pop yourselves on mute if you're not already, just before we start the questions, that would be helpful, just so we don't get too much interference. That'd be great. Great, I'm just going to share my screen. Hope this all goes okay. There's no technical difficulties tonight. Great, can you see? Oh, can you see that? Can I get a thumbs up? Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Brilliant. So I'm just realizing that people are still going to be coming in and I won't be able to let them in. 2 secs. Sorry, everyone. Okay, I think that's right.
You're going to make me host, Erin, and then I can let people in.
Can I do? Okay, but then I won't be able to share, will I? I still can?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think that's done. Cool. Great. Thanks. Cool. So yes, hi everyone. Welcome. Thank you again for taking time out of your evening to join us. We're going to talk all things Pedal to Eat related and hopefully sort of answer any questions that any of you may have. So for anyone that I haven't sort of met yet, officially, hi, I'm Erin. I work here in the stewardship team at the Royal British Legion in the mass events team. So I'm the one, hopefully you've been getting some emails from. And yeah, so I sort of take care of our event participants, making sure you have all the information you need ahead of the event, you feel like inspired and supported with your fundraising and all that good stuff. So yeah, just a bit of housekeeping first. As I said, if you could keep yourselves on mute, that would be great, just until we come to the questions at the end, please. And if you do have questions, sort of make a note of them as we go, but chances are, I'm hoping we might answer them as we go along. If by the time we come to the questions at the end we still haven't, then feel free to pop them in the chat box in the Zoom call, and we can get around to answering them for you there. So yeah, so today, this evening, I am just going to run through some sort of fundraising inspiration and ideas, sort of get you all encouraged and motivated to keep going with your fundraising in the last sort of month and a half before the event. And then Kate is here as well. Kate Field is my colleague. She is the event manager of Pedal to Eat. She's going to talk through some more specific stuff about the event. So things like kit list, training, route, day 1 and day 4 return to the UK info. So I think that's where probably a lot of your questions will be answered there. And then we should have about 15-20 minutes at the end for questions. I don't want to keep you all evening, so we're going to aim to finish at 8. We'll see how we get on, but we are recording this as well, and we'll send around the recording, so if you need to leave early or something, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, also just wanted to sort of flag/remind you that there are 2 Pedal to Eat events happening this year. So we have one taking place on the 9th till the 11th of July, and this second event is the 23rd to 25th of July. So we do have people from both events on this call. So if you hear any event dates or any dates that don't sort of make sense to you, that might be because we're talking about the other event dates. So just sort of bear that in mind. Yeah, and obviously Pedal to Eat hasn't been able to happen. This will be the 3rd year. Well, it hasn't happened in 3 years. So yeah, we've been waiting a really long time, as have most of you now. So we're really looking forward to it. It's a really, really lovely ride, nice small group of riders, lots of sort of historical elements and a beautiful route. So yeah, it's going to be really great. And we just want to say sort of a massive thank you for sticking with us and your patience with us over the last few years. We really appreciate it. So going on to fundraising. So the Royal British Legion event, we put on things like Pedal to Eat to raise vital funds to support the armed forces community. So the Royal British Legion, some of you may know, was established in 1921 to care for those who have suffered as a result of service during the First World War. And we've been helping the armed forces community and their families ever since. Your fundraising and support helps us to continue to ensure that no one who has served will be disadvantaged because of the sacrifices they have made. So over 90,000 people turn to us for help every year. We support serving personnel, veterans and their families in a number of ways, including our Battleback Centre, which is a recovery centre that helps wounded, injured and sick service personnel to rehabilitate. We offer financial assistance, such as helping a veteran who's perhaps struggling with debt. We offer support and guidance to carers of people with dementia, and individual grants to people to help fund things like medical care and funeral costs, just to name a few. And you can see a few statistics on the side here of this slide. But none of this amazing and really important work would be possible without the generous help of our supporters like yourselves. So I want to say, on behalf of the people that we support and the armed forces community, thank you so much for your fundraising so far. You've been amazing to see over the last, you know, like I say, the 3 years. It's you haven't lost any motivation, you've just kept going, and we really, really appreciate it, so thank you. Depending on what option you originally registered with Pedal to Eat, you will have a fundraising target of either £250 or £750. And the final month before the event day, or month and a half we have now, is sort of really crunch time for getting in the majority of your donations. So make sure you're utilising sort of all your contacts, encouraging people to dig deep. If you reach your fundraising target by 1 month before the event date, which I know quite a lot of you already have, which is great. So that will be either the 9th of June, so tomorrow, or the 23rd of June, depending which Pedal to Eat date you're on. You'll then receive an additional RBL cycling jersey for free from us as a thank you. So everyone does receive an RBL jersey as part of that's included with the registration fee for this event. But if you hit that fundraising target by 1 month before the event, you'll get an additional one as well, which will be sent out to you ahead of the event. So just some sort of quick and quite simple fundraising things you can do between now and the event date to either get going or to sort of boost your fundraising even further. If you haven't already, I would obviously recommend setting up a Just Giving page, even making a self-donation to get the ball rolling there, and that really shows people sort of your commitment, that you're really engaged with this challenge and you're definitely doing it. Also, I would suggest editing the description of your Just Giving page and sort of maybe adding a personal photo on there, and maybe explaining in the description why you're taking part in this challenge and what the Royal British Legion means to you, whether you have a personal connection to the Legion, things like that can really help encourage sort of your friends and family to see why you're doing it, and yeah, that they will dig deep when they donate. And of course, share your page across the social media, maybe give suggestions of specific amounts that people could donate to help. For example, £25 could pay for an online learning course for a veteran to help them secure a job. So this will really show your donors like where their money is going to go, and it will be that tangible feeling to them. Our top fundraisers do share their page up to 11 times, so don't feel shy and don't hold back. Another idea is to link your Strava page to your Just Giving page to show people sort of how you're getting on with your training and those sort of longer rides that you're doing in the lead up to the event day. As I said, your jerseys are going to be sent out to you ahead of the event day. So they actually arrived at our warehouse today. So we have them and we'll get them sent out to you as soon as possible. So when that arrives, I definitely recommend sort of taking a photo in that, maybe uploading that to your Just Giving page and sharing that around on social media, on a WhatsApp, maybe even adding it to your email signature, things like that, and just really shouting about how it's basically a month to go now and the countdown is on. You'll probably have a few people that have promised to sponsor you sort of the whole way along and never got round to doing it. So definitely now's the time to sort of give those people that extra push. And then there's the classic things such as car boot sales, supermarket bag packing, quite simple and easy to set up. If you need anything from us, such as like a letter of authorization to sort of prove that you are fundraising for the Legion, then that's absolutely fine, something we can send out to you to help with that. And you can actually request donation tins as well through us if this might be something that would help. So for example, if you do a car boot sale or supermarket bag packing, just have there to show sort of that the money's going to a legit charity and you have it there, and yeah, that just sort of will help show people they probably will be a bit more generous if they see sort of a charity sign there as well. So those are just sort of some examples. Obviously there's thousands of other ideas, and I know loads of you have had some really great sort of individual ideas yourself. But if there is anything you need from us to help with your support, or you're having any concerns with anything, please do just reach out to us. Hopefully you have our number and our email address from our contacts already, but we do have it at the end of this presentation, so you can grab it after this as well. But yeah, I think that's sort of a really quick rundown of fundraising. I will pass over to Kate, and then we'll come back to sort of some fundraising questions at the end. Yeah, Kate.
Awesome, thanks Erin. So hi, I'm Kate. I've kind of been running our bike rides for maybe like the last 5 or so years, so I've done it for a little while now. And yeah, I have to say Pedal to Eat is one of my favourite events. It's just such a nice small group of people. The historical side of it is so interesting. For me personally, I find that really, yeah, like a cool part of this event. So yeah, really excited to meet you all, and it's going to be really good. Do you mind going to the next slide, Erin? Thanks. Cool. So I'm going to cover kind of more of the logistical bits about the ride. So a little bit about the kit list, training, the route, kind of the support and things you'll expect. So hopefully, because I know you all read your emails, you would have already seen a link to our training guides. So we actually have really comprehensive training guides on our website. So if you click through to that, we'll send these slides out afterwards. You can have a look. I'm not going to kind of go through all of it now, but it is on there. There is a document called our cycling guide, which is really comprehensive. It's got really good information in there about just kind of absolutely everything you need to know, from things like bike fits to I don't know, like stretches you can do, alternative things to cycling to kind of build up your strength, just all sorts in there. So have a read of that one. And there's also a training guide in there. So it is a 16-week training guide. Obviously we're a little bit closer to the event now, so hopefully all your training is going really well. But just kind of a few top tips from training. For those who have got the ride coming up on the first event, you're kind of, about 4 weeks out at the moment, so you'd be looking to build up some of your long rides coming up, so aiming for around that 100-kilometer mark, and then also thinking about doing a few back-to-back rides. So a lot of you will have done sportives, but doing the multi-days, getting a little bit of practice, doing a couple of long rides back-to-back would be quite a good thing to do at the moment. And on that training guide page, there's some kind of tips from a guy called Andy who used to cycle for Team GP, and he has got a quote on there about proper preparation prevents poor performance, which is an absolute tongue twister, and I'm surprised I've managed to say it quite well, but it's really true. So you know, I know you all have different lives, different commitments, different time constraints, so it's really coming up with some training that works for you is the most important thing. And the final tip kind of around training I've got is to get involved with our Facebook cycling group. So on there, there's a whole load of people who have done our events before or are training to do them now. So if you're not sure about anything, just pop a question out on there. Everyone is really, really supportive. It's a great community. So yeah, really encourage you to get involved on that. The other page that is really key for you guys is, it says route and itinerary, but it also has a whole bunch of information about kit. So there is a kit list on there that you can go through. Again, I'm not going to go through it step by step because you can have a read yourself. But a few tips kind of from that. So take your bike in for a checkup about a week before the event. Just make sure it's in, you know, full running order and good to go. Pack minimal, so we don't have a huge amount of space, so aim for around 10 kgs. There's no dress code in the evening, so recommend getting changed out of your lycra, but you probably don't need to bring suits or anything, so it's just casual. Recommend you have 2 water bottles at all times, so one should be full for electrolytes and one should be for water. And if you can't do it yet, I'd start to practice drinking while cycling, because that's really, really key to stay hydrated. You don't want to be waiting for the next stop to have a drink. You want to be able to do it the whole way through. We provide everything at feed stations. So all of your lunches, energy bars, energy drink. The only thing we don't provide is energy gels. And that's kind of mostly because people kind of have their own brands that they like to use. And we did provide them once. Make sure you try an energy gel before you have it on the event, because it didn't go down with some people so well. So definitely try it out before you use it. Bikes are all in secure storage every night, so you don't need a bike lock. If you want to bring one, you can, but they will be in secure lockups. And the final tip I've got around this stuff is just preparing for all weather. We've done this ride in the rain and we've done this ride in, you know, like mid-30s. So it really could go either way. So just make sure you're prepared for all weather. Cool, we're going to roll into the route and some of the support. Thanks, Erin. So support-wise, we've got some really, you know, you'll be well looked after, I promise. So you can see in that top picture there is a guy called Dan Hill. So he's our historian who comes along with us on the whole trip. So Dan is an absolute amazing person. He just knows everything about that area. He's an expert on World War I and World War II. So he's really great. I know a lot of you will have submitted kind of some information about family members that you might have buried along the route and things like that. He's aware of all of that, so do feel free to go up and have a chat to him about those things. He loves talking about history. So yeah, he's going to be awesome. We have ride captains, so there'll be a group of ride captains with each group, and they are really key for you guys. So you'll be following them on the route. They'll be there to encourage you, support you. If you need to be pushed up a hill, they'll push you up a hill. They are brilliant. You'll also have some medics with you that are going to come along. Some of them will be cycling, some of them will be in vehicles. We'll have a mechanic on hand if you need anything. Again, it's really important that you get your bike in good shape to start off with, because they can't work miracles, but they'll be there kind of for all your basic needs. So you don't need to bring any pumps or anything like that. And then you'll have us. You'll have some of the RBL crew. So we'll be there to kind of, cook for you, feed you, check you on toe towels, look after you. The only thing we probably won't do is your laundry, so don't ask me to do your laundry. But other than that, we're pretty much there to help you with most things. Cool, so we have got 2 speed groups. So you all submitted your kind of average speeds a while back. And what we've done with those is sort of come up with an average from what you've submitted. So we'll have one group that will so group 1 will average around 15 miles an hour, and group 2 will average around 12 miles an hour. So what we will do is once we get the groups, we can kind of tailor that a little bit. We'll just see how you go. I know it's hard to kind of submit an average speed so far out, so we're flexible, we'll make it work, and we'll just kind of go at the average pace of that group of people. And you can switch between groups at any point. So if you're feeling a little bit tired, it's totally fine to switch down to the slower group. So as I said, each group will have ride captains with them, and they'll also have support vehicles. So you'll have your mechanic with you, lead vehicles that you're following, and there will be kind of a sweeper van at the back. So if for any reason you're not feeling up to it, you can get in that. We absolutely don't leave anyone behind. It's really, we work together to get you across the finish line, and yeah, we'll definitely get you there. We also have a camper van which has a toilet in it, which see, it's a little bit easier for the men, but for the ladies, it's nice to have a toilet that you know is going to be there. So all of our feed stations have toilets, but we do have that camper van toilet as a little bit of a backup. So that's kind of all of a bit of a lowdown on the support. What I'm going to do now is go through the routes with you. So yeah, actually, if I could grab the screen, Erin, and then I'm going to share mine. Yeah. Cool. And these routes, we will release them after this call, so you can check them out yourself. So I'm going to sort of, I'm not going to dwell on them too much. I'm sort of going to skim through them. But yeah, you can have a look in detail afterwards. So day one, we've got here, so it's about 115 kilometers, 71 miles. You can kind of see the information over there. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Is this big enough for everyone? All good? Awesome. Thanks.
That's fine.
Brilliant. So day one, so we'll be arriving into Dunkirk kind of around 9 a.m. And what we'll do is we'll get off the ferry and we'll get out of the terminal, and then there will be a little bit of an opportunity getting off the ferry to sort of just regroup and maybe fill up some water bottles and things, but we'll just do it when we get out of the terminal. So that'll be kind of around here. And then our very first stop is in Dunkirk, which is, you know, the history in Dunkirk is so interesting and really, really cool. So our first stop will be along the beaches there. Dunkirk's probably the biggest kind of city, I guess, that we'll go through. Everything else is a lot smaller. So it will be a little bit busy on the Saturday, but it's very much an in and out, and that's kind of the busiest place it will be. So once we finish at Dunkirk, these are some toilet stops that we've marked. We're not going to be stopping at them, but it's just so that you know that there are some opportunities. If you do really need to go, they're there. So we'll head further inland after Dunkirk. We've got lunch at a place called Esquibet, which is a beautiful little French village. And then we'll visit a couple of memorials just a bit south of that. And then you will have your one climb of the day, which is actually a very cool climb. It's a cobbled climb, but not, you know, the cobbles are actually quite nice. They are fairly flat. Yeah. It's a climb that's part of the Tour of Flanders. So you'll get to do something that's quite cool. And it goes up to the top, and there's a place called Cassel, which is this beautiful little French village on top of this hill. So it's worth it for the view, I promise. And that's kind of your one climb of the day. At the top, Dan will do a little bit of history with you, because you can just see for miles. It's really cool. So after that, you'll get to descend, not down the cobble climb, but around the corner. And then really the second part of this day is a little bit more about the cycling. So you'll get kind of a good afternoon run to kind of get into it. Your ride captains might show you some kind of different techniques about group riding, maybe do a little bit with drafting and things like that. So yeah, really that second half is going to be about just enjoying the beautiful French countryside. And then we get into our first stop, which is a place called Béthune, which is really beautiful. And we've got a hotel there, which we'll be staying at in the evening. And the local hotel has also organised a restaurant, which does kind of local cuisine and things, which is quite cool. So that is day one. And then we head into day two. Cool. So day 2 is kind of a similar distance, around 120 kilometers, 75 miles, similar elevation and things like that. Let's make this a bit bigger. So in the morning, actually, hold on, let me zoom in a little bit. That's a bit zoomed out. There we go. Is that all right for everyone? Yeah, great. So from Bethune, we will head first to a place called Vimy Ridge. So there's a little bit of an out and back here, but it's well worth it because Vimy is really beautiful. And there's a really interesting memorial there, and some trenches that are really well preserved that we'll have a look around. And this is also your first and only climb of the day. So again, it's absolutely worth it because the view at the top of Vimy is really beautiful. So we'll head up to Vimy and then head out and kind of further in towards Belgium. So this is a really busy day full of, there's so much to see in this area. We wish we could squish it all in, but unfortunately we only have so much time. So this route's kind of, the stops that we've got have been designed by Dan and myself. We're stopping at quite a few kind of smaller ones where Dan knows some really interesting stories that are a little bit you know, like unique and different that you wouldn't usually visit when you go somewhere like this. So yeah, we'll kind of head along here up into Belgium. Our first stop is at a place called Vermelles, which is an Australian war memorial, and there's a little museum there which is quite interesting. And then we'll kind of head up through here. You can see there's many places that we're going to be stopping at, Caterpillar Crater, Hill 60, up through to Tynecott, and then roll on down into Ypres for the finish, which will be really special. So that's where you'll finish at the very iconic Menin Gate. So we'll get there probably around 5:30, and then head down towards the town hall, which is just a little bit further. So this evening is where you'll get your medals, because it's a really unique finish. And in the evening, we will head to a place called the Cloth Hall, which is sort of part of the museum and town hall there, which is really beautiful. So that is day 2. So that's the worst, you know, I say the worst of it. That's the most distance. Day 3 is fairly chilled. It's a very slow roll back to Dunkirk, so it's nothing too major. So you've got it's about 57 kilometers and it's dead flat. So we've got no hills. We've been very kind to you on the last day, and it's very straightforward. So we'll head back there. We'll get to, so our ferry is at 2 p.m. So we'll get there around kind of just before lunchtime, probably have some food kind of in by the ferry. And that's kind of the routes that we've got. So I'm going to jump back into the presentation. Do you mind sharing that, Erin? I can see a look of concentration. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Cool, and I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail around kind of the Friday and then the Saturday, just so that you can kind of get prepared for when we're leaving and things like that. So for those of you who have booked with the Friday travel package or the Friday evening hotel dinner at Dover, if you've got the Friday travel package, you'll need to meet at our head office, which is on Borough High Street. The postcode's there. We'll send all this information out later, but meet there at 2:30. If you were meeting us straight at the hotel in Dover, you can check in just with reception, the Premier Inn, from 3 o'clock. And then from 6:30 till 7, you will be able to register in the hotel restaurant with us. It's a very early morning start on Saturday. It's all right, it's an adventure. So if you want to get sorted and be ready to go in the morning and have more time to have that extra coffee, you can register with us the night before in between that time window. And then for those of you who have booked with that package, dinner will be at 7 o'clock in that hotel restaurant next to the Premier Inn. On Saturday, if you're meeting us there, registration is on Marine Parade directly opposite the Premier Inn. Again, we'll send postcodes and things like that. So registration opens from 4 a.m. I'm hoping most of you will be registered the night before. So we'll be closing that at 4:15 and heading straight in for the port. So the ferry leaves at 6 a.m. We'll do breakfast on the ferry and we'll give you some vouchers for that. And then, as I said earlier, we arrive in Dunkirk at 9. So that's the first day. And then on the last day, so our ferry's at 2 p.m. from Dunkirk. There's some food and things that you can get on the ferry, and then at 3 o'clock we will arrive into Dover again. We'll all cycle off together and finish again in the same place we started on Marine Parade, where you can pick up your bag and we'll do a little bit of a farewell there. So that's the plan. Hope you're all excited. So the last thing I think we're going to do is some questions. So thank you to everyone who pre-submitted questions. I'm just going to run through those first because I think it'll probably answer a lot of everyone else's questions. So the first one we had was about parking in Dover. So we've done our absolute best to try and, like swing you some free parking in Dover, but we haven't had any luck. So it is going to be up to you to have a look into parking options. There are quite a few, and we did send them out in an email a while back, I think, Erin. Yeah. If not, we'll send them out again and you can have a look. But it is going to be up to you if you want to leave your vehicle in Dover, that you'll have to look at the different options and sort that out. I'm sorry, we did really try to get some free stuff for you. Second one was around medical forms and medical conditions. So if you have a medical condition, you would have kind of already told us in your registration form. We send those to our medics, and if they have any flags, they will come back to me and we'll come out to you and just kind of ask you a few more questions and things. You may be required to get a medical certificate to take part if they think you need to, but we'll let you know, and it will be at their discretion, basically. Dietary requirements was another question. We cater for all dietary requirements. You should have told us by now if you have one, but if you think you've forgotten, then do let us know and we will absolutely cater for you. What else have I got? E-bikes and charging. So I think there's a few people who may have e-bikes. That's perfectly fine. Some of the places where we store the bikes, there will be charging points in the rooms. Some of the places you may need to take it into your hotel room, but we can work that out. So do let us know if you're bringing an e-bike and we can talk through the options with you. I had a question about kind of people who are joining as individuals. So we usually get a lot of people who join as individuals and don't know each other. By the end of it, you'll have another like 58 odd friends. So it's, we are all about doing this together. You'll absolutely get to know people. Everyone is very friendly. So don't worry at all if you're doing this on your own. Yeah. You won't be alone for long. Other question I have is about hotel buddies. So we will release hotel buddies and who you'll be sharing with if you haven't booked a single room kind of close to the time, so not far away. If you've requested someone, we'll sort that out. Yeah, I think, Erin, do you want to do the next questions? I think there's a few about like jerseys and things.
Yeah, there's one that's just come through on chat as well, but I've got a few here that were pre-submitted. So yes, there was a question about can I qualify for more than one additional cycling jersey if I reach sort of double my fundraising target, so I guess 200% of the fundraising target. No, it is just one person, one jersey per person per fundraising target, if that makes sense. Is there a jersey size chart? Yes, there is. We can send that around. And if it doesn't fit, if the one that we're going to send out sort of as soon as possible now, if that doesn't fit, you can always send that back to us and we can send a replacement, or if that's getting a bit tight for time, you can swap your size at registration on day one. Another question was, can company match funding be linked to my fundraising? Yes, definitely. If you just let us know when you're expecting it to come in, sort of who it's coming in from, and if you have anything like a receipt or proof of the transaction, that would be really helpful. And if you ask them to mention that it's for Pedal to Eep and even your name, if they are able to put that in the payment reference, then we'll be able to find it a bit easier and make sure it gets linked to your fundraising. But yeah, that's absolutely no problem. And the last one I had was, I've chosen the fundraising option, but I'm struggling to reach the target. Can I now swap to the self-fund option? Yes, definitely. So if anyone has currently are on the option with the £750 fundraising target, but you're struggling to reach it, you can swap to the self-fund, which would mean you pay an additional £500 yourself towards the cost of the event, and then you'll have a £250 fundraising target. So yes, that's definitely something you can do. Just contact us and let us know, and we can swap you over. I think that was all of the sort of pre-submitted fundraising questions I had. Was there one in the chat? Oh, there's a few in the chat.
Yeah, I've got a few. So I've got one from Stuart about hearing about medical conditions. They're with our medics at the moment, and I'm expecting to hear back from them by the end of the week. They initially said they didn't think there was anything kind of too serious. So it's more just, you know, if you do have a medical condition, they want to help you and look after you while you're there and things. So yeah, by the end of this week, I expect to hear back from them. I've got another one. Day one, do you recommend getting, day one, do you recommend changing into cycling gear before boarding the ferry? Or will there be a place to change on the ferry? Will we be carrying our luggage on the ferry? No, sorry, I should have covered that earlier. So when you get to registration, you'll load your bag into a van. So you won't have your luggage with you. So you'll just want to take a day bag or just carry little bits on you. Anything you're going to take while cycling, carry that on you. There will be an opportunity to get changed on the ferry, and you can kind of put those things back into a day bag. You will, when we come off the ferry, you will be able to kind of put things in vehicles if you need to. The vehicles that will be with you while you're cycling, you can kind of keep stuff on there, but just be mindful that, you know, we won't be able to fit in 60 people's bags. So just be a bit mindful of that.
Sorry, Kate,
yes.
can you just repeat that? Sorry about the changing.
So yes, you will be able to get changed on the ferry if you want to, but just be aware that you would need to carry those clothes, or, you know, yeah, or put them in a small bag or something to take with you. Yeah. I think that covers that one. Oh, Kevin's got a great tip about parking. If anyone wants to have a look at that. Got another question about parking. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand your question, Paul. So you're staying in the hotel the night before. Can you park there only for the overnight or the 3 nights? No, at the hotel we did try with them, I promise. So you can only stay there the nights that you're actually a guest in the hotel. So they won't allow you to park other nights. So yeah, you can stay that one night, but then you'd need to park it somewhere else. Got a fundraising question there, Erin. Does our previous fundraising from 2020 get added to our current one?
Yeah, definitely. So if you've been sort of rolling over your place for however many years now it's been, yeah, that all gets added. You should have had an email, I think last month maybe, that did sort of say how much we have on your fundraising at the moment and what we can see that it's on. So if we've had a few people get back to us sort of saying, oh, I've actually got a bit more than that sitting in a different place sort of thing. So definitely let us know if that doesn't seem right, and we can find out where that odd missing bit is. But yes, all your fundraising rolls over from however long you've been rolled over for.
Well, should we go to Brian, because you've been patiently waiting with your hand up, and then we can go to the rest of the questions in the chat.
Well, thank you very much, and well done, guys, for organising us all. Quickie, I was slow in getting my hotel booking in, so I actually did that today. But just to say that there are still hotel bookings available if people haven't done it, and that's with the hotel that everyone else is staying at. I presume that you're dealing with the ferry and stuff, but you tell us.
Yes, we organise everything for you. So the ferry's all sorted. You just need to turn up, and cycle.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, and when we rock up on the Friday at the hotel in Dover, what's the best thing, to leave the bike in the car overnight, or is there some at the hotel that we can put the bikes?
In Dover, it's up to you. It depends how much you love your bike. You can bring it inside the hotel room with you, or if you're happy to leave it in your car, then that's an option as well. But obviously, make sure you're covered for insurance and things if you're leaving your bike in your car.
Okay.
I would recommend bringing it into the hotel room.
Okay, that's good. Yep. Thanks.
No worries. Right, I've got a question here about insurance. So can you give guidance on what level of insurance we should have, and can you recommend providers? So insurance you'll be looking for is travel insurance for yourself, that COVID insurance. So if you do get COVID out there or something that you need to be repatriated, that's very normal and quite easy to find now and included with most travel insurance policies. So you won't find it difficult to find. So you need to make sure that's covered. To make sure you've got coverage for your bike, so if something happens to it, that it's covered. Those are kind of the main things. We don't recommend insurance providers because if we recommended somewhere, it would kind of make us liable if something went wrong. So we don't tend to do that. There are a number of options out there. British Cycling do insurance for bikes, which is quite popular. Again, this is the type of question you could pop out in the cycling Facebook group, and some of the other participants can probably suggest insurers that they've used. And some are very likely better than others, but that's probably the best thing to do there. Cool. Yes, Charlie, remember to take passports. Absolutely. And please ensure they're valid. Very, very important. We got, is Premier Inn Hotel on Friday included? Or do we have to sort that out, or is it too late to add that on? So that the Premier Inn on Friday and dinner was an extra package that you could have booked when you registered. And I think we gave everyone another opportunity to book that. Do we do that, Erin?
Yeah. So I think the deadline was March, I think. So we did have to get it booked. But yeah, like Brian said, he's just sorted it out himself today. So you could always just go that
unfortunately. Yeah, it's too late for us just because we've already given them our group booking and information and things. But yeah, you're very welcome to book it yourself. We'll be having dinner at 7 o'clock in the restaurant next to the Premier Inn. So obviously come and join. We'd love to see you. What we got next? Andy, where would we store our bikes on the Friday night if we're staying at the hotel in Dover? We sort of answered that one. So it's up to you, but yeah, I would put it in my hotel room. Again, depends on how much you love your bike, but it would be, yeah, probably wouldn't leave it in your car. Oh, Charlie's got another tip. In Dover, parking you paid for through Ringo. There we go. Thanks, Charlie. Top tips from Charlie.
Well, thank you, because I'm working in Dover at the moment.
Ah.
So you can just park along the seafront and top it up every day on your app.
Oh, so you just send it. Oh,
so opposite the hotel, just park on all the spaces. There's loads of them, and then you can pay daily on Ringo.
Look at that.
Can you share that with us, Charlie, please?
Yeah, there's a whole load of spaces opposite the hotel along the seafront. So just park there and download the Ringo app on your phone, and you can pay each day for your car. It's about £8 a day.
Okay. We'll pop something out in comms as well. Maybe we'll call it Top Tips with Charlie, and get that out to everyone. Joe, do you want to? Sorry, you've had your hand up for a while as well.
Yeah, thanks. It was, you mentioned that to put onto the website, £25 will buy an online training course. I think this is for you, Erin. This idea that different amounts of money, your charity will be able to provide this for the people in the services. Do you have that list somewhere that you can circulate. Have I already missed it? I'm sorry if I have.
No, yeah, definitely.
And what is the Facebook page called? Or is it just part of the RBL one? Is it a subgroup?
So the the Facebook page is
Do you want to have a search for the link and we'll pop it in the chat for you?
Yeah.
And we'll also put it in the next email.
Okay. And this is a personal question. I mean, if I can't remember if I booked the package or not.
I can have a quick look. I'll have a quick look now whilst we're looking and let you know what I've got you down for.
We can come back to you, Joe, on that one.
All right, no worries. I just better get booking it if I didn't. I can't remember.
No worries, I'll let you know. But yes, I can definitely send around a list of sort of ideas about how much sort of X amount of money could go towards, definitely.
Awesome. We'll come back to you on the package, Joe. Did you have any other questions?
No, they've been answered. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. I've got another question around packages. So I'm on the Friday hotel package. So I come to Hague House on the Friday with my bike and everything. So there's two different packages for Friday. One is a travel package. So it's travel from London to Dover with us, and then it also includes the hotel in Dover and dinner. So that's one package which includes travel. The second one is just the hotel and dinner in Dover. So if you're making your own way to Dover, those were the two options that you were given when you were registered. You may need to have a look back through emails to see which one you have booked on. If not, Erin can have a look and we can look back through the registrations. Does that clarify?
I've just tried having a look back through my emails to see which one I was on, and so I thought, oh, have I paid for travel from London then? But I don't know. Okay, yeah, I just need a reminder of which one it is.
No worries. Sorry, what was your name? Because I'm sure it's not iPad.
Oh, sorry. Did it not right? My name's Graham. Hello.
Brilliant. What's your surname, Graham?
Graham Elder.
Graham Elder. Wonderful. Erin can have a look at that
I'm
for
the
you.
I'm the learning and development manager. I work at.
Oh, you do.
I was like, you look familiar.
I'm off. I'm off
name
work. I've got COVID and I'm off sick at the moment. So, but I didn't want to. I've dragged myself out of my sick bed because I did not want to miss this. So, but I'm sitting here. It doesn't do your brain any good. This. I'm sitting here. I'm now worried about. I'm not sure which dates I booked myself on now. But you can remind me of everything. I'm sure.
We can tell you. We're all over it.
I'm out of it at the moment.
Don't worry. No worries.
I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
What have we got next? Graham, do we need to take a copy of our COVID pass? Yes, we'll send out some information. The rules in France change regularly. So we will send you some information a little bit close to the time about what's expected, because we've had this over the last year where we send out information and then it changes a week later and then it changes a week after that. So we're going to send you the most up-to-date information very soon about what you will need. But luckily it's fairly easy now to travel, so don't worry. As long as you've got a passport and it's valid, you'll be fine. Wonderful. Simon, do you have an idea of what time those being transported back to London? Oh, is this on the, sorry Simon, is this on the Monday? Not sure where Simon is. I'm going to assume he.
Yeah, that's for Sunday.
On
the
Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we'll head off. So once we finish, we get in at 3 o'clock. From the ferry, we'll come straight off the ferry and meet at Marine Parade. Everyone will pick up their bags and things, and once we've set everyone off, we'll set off straight for London after that. So traffic dependent, I would say around between 5:30, 6 we'll be talking back in London. We might get there quicker, but yeah,
that should be okay, because I've got to catch a train back up to the northeast.
We'll get you there as fast as possible, but that's kind of, yeah, what we're looking at.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.
Which Premier Inn is it? Is it the East Ferry Terminal one?
Yeah, Eastern Ferry Terminal East. It's got a really long name.
There are 2 Dover hotels, so we will. Erin, do you mind popping the link in the chat in case people want to book separately for that Dover hotel? So we'll put that in the chat as well. Got another great tip from Stuart, who's parking with Horizon Parking, and he got free parking for the Friday night in Dover and then paid for the extra days through the parking app. So lots of good parking tips in here. Yes, and Jeremy saying, make sure your passport meets the time limit requirements. Absolutely. Do check all of those things. Darren, will the mechanic take care of punches, etc.? Yes, they'll be able to cover all of that. Ride captains will also look after you as well, so if you get a puncher, they can help. Blue passports or the brilliant maroon ones from Andy? I'm just not even gonna answer that. Charlie, will you provide the route to download on Garmin? Yes, so what I was showing you, we'll provide you the link to that, and you can download it to anything that kind of, whatever kind of bike computer you've got. There's lots of different options for download once you get that. If you ever play with it, you can download it so it brings up those kind of like points of interest. So if we're stopping at a historical place, you can see it and it should pop up in your bike computer. You might need to have a little bit of a play with settings. If you're struggling, maybe contact us or pop something on the cycling group, because chances are someone has the same, you know, Garmin or other bike computer as you and might be able to help you with some of the settings and things. I've got Justin, can we just join the Friday night dinner if we pay on the night? Yeah, that's fine. Just book a table, join us. That's no problem. Lee, will we get a confirmation of a room for Friday? Is this because you're not sure if you've booked it or not with us? Who's that, Lee? No, I can't see Lee. Lee, do you want to just clarify your question? Is that because you're not sure if you've booked the Friday package with us? If you're not sure, we can check it for you.
I'll let you know either way. I'll just, yeah. If there's only one Lee, there probably is more than one. We'll let you know.
Feel free to speak up whenever you want, Lee, but we'll keep moving on for now. Can you confirm we cycle from the hotel to the port? Yes, so the meeting, I assume this is on the Saturday morning. So the meeting point where we'll all gather is on a place called Marine Parade, which is directly opposite the Premier Inn. And from there, there's a very short cycle road that leads into the port. It's about 2 minutes, and your ride captains will lead you there. So we'll gather everyone up in the morning, and then the ride captains will lead you directly into the port, which is where we'll then be checked in by the port staff and go through security and all that kind of stuff. Paul, can we lay a wreath at the Menin Gate service on behalf of our local RBL branch? Yes, sorry, and I completely forgot that part. I don't know how I missed that. We will be going to the Menin Gate service at 8 o'clock. We've got a booked kind of space there for everybody. And we will be able to lay some wreaths. I'm just finding out how many we're allowed to lay, but yes, you will be able to do one for your local branch. Whether it is part of the main kind of ceremony or not, I'm not sure yet. I'm just trying to get that information, but you will definitely be able to lay a wreath at some point when we're there in the service. Don't worry, it's fine. You don't need to say sorry. Another question. Is that Laura? I don't know if this is actually Laura. Apparently it's 3 people. Oh, this one's about fundraising.
Yeah,
that's you, Erin.
That's me. Sorry, we hit. Yes. Yeah, so you had the fundraising target 750, but on your Just Giving you want to raise 1,000. Yes, you will get the additional jersey because you've hit the 750, which was the target sort of given by us, if that makes sense. So yes, if I've read that right.
Awesome.
Oh, everyone got there ahead of me posting the group.
Yeah, cheers, Carl and James. Faster than Erin with the group. So anyone who wants that. Yes, and another tip from Graham about downloading from Ride with GPS to Garmin and do it before you go. Absolutely. Just be aware that we'll send those routes out, but they are subject to change because we do have last minute changes where, you know, roads are closed or the French like, no, you can't go here, and we have to reroute. So just be aware that they may change. Follow your ride captains at all times. Yeah, some things about COVID passes. Yeah, we'll put all of that out and give you some information about it close to the time. There's one for you, Erin, about jerseys.
Yeah, so yeah, as part of signing up, you get a jersey when you're likely to receive this. Like I said, they have just arrived, so we have them at our warehouse. So for the 1st July date, we'll get those sent out as soon as possible. So that'll be probably arrive with you about 3 weeks before the event. And then the second date will get out a couple of weeks after that. Basically, so that we can also send anyone that's hit the fundraising target, the 1 month deadline, we'll send you 2 in 1 rather than doing 2 different send outs. Yes, so about 3 weeks before the event date should arrive with you. And if you change your address, yes, please let us know so we can get it to the right place.
Cool. I've got a question from Chris. Can you please reconfirm the meeting place on Friday? Do you mean Saturday or do you mean Friday, Chris? Can you just clarify? Do you mean the main meeting point for registration, or?
I'm meaning we get the 2:30 on Friday.
2:30 on Friday. Sure. We'll send all this out on an email as well. I'll pop I'll put the address in the chat now.
Thank you.
Erin, do you want to do the next one while I write this?
Yeah, and then Paul just said they're staying at the Travel Lodge, which is a minute up the road, as another option for hotel. So yeah, if we do end up booking out Premier Inn, there is that, I think.
Okay, so I maybe misunderstood this, so I'm going to say it, even though it sounds a bit idiotic, but that's London, isn't it? So if you're going straight to Dover, what time do you meet and where do you meet?
So Dover is, so this is on the Saturday. So,
oh,
so
that's Saturday then.
Yeah, so if you've booked the Friday package, which was an extra package that
Yes.
you may have selected when you registered with us,
yes,
that's travel on Friday. For anyone who's not booked any kind of extra packages or anything like that, the start date of the event is on the Saturday.
Okay, so if I've booked the extra package, is that from London or that's just turning up in Dover, but that's the night, that's £100 for the evening? I'm a bit confused.
So, yeah, there's 2 packages.
Is it Hudson? Is it Chris?
Yes.
Hudson? Yeah, so you are, just really quickly, can see that you're on the Dover package, so no travel from London, so just meet at the Dover hotel. Yeah.
The night before, what time and where?
So you can check in just with the reception staff at the Premier Inn from 3 p.m. and then you can register, you can do your kind of event registration with us from between 6:30 and 7 in kind of the hotel restaurant just beside it, and then dinner will be at 7 o'clock in that same restaurant.
Okay, so, and that's the hotel you've sent the details in the chat, the Premier Inn.
Yes, so that's the Premier
Brilliant.
Inn.
Thank
we'll
you.
send all of this out in an email.
There.
No, not at all. It's a lot of information to take in, but we'll follow up with an email so you've got it all in writing as well.
Kate, sorry, can I ask a quick question? I live just up the road from Dover, just outside of Folkestone, which is quite handy for me. Can I register the night before if I pop down to the hotel around about 6:30?
Yeah, absolutely. That is open to anybody. So if you're in the area, even if you're not staying at the hotel, feel free to pop down. Yeah.
Excellent. And just a little plug, if there's anybody else that's living local and wants to do a bit of cycle training, then give us a shout.
Yay. And that's a really great thing to put out on the Facebook cycling group as well. We've had lots of people who've put out, I live here, does anyone else live here, do you want to go for a ride? And we've had a lot of people who've kind of buddied up doing that. So yeah, definitely recommend that. We've got Dave. I need to go to Brighton for work when I get back. Can you tell me what time the ferry gets into Dover on the Monday, please? 3 p.m. Oh, look, Jeremy beat me to it. Thanks, Jeremy. 3 p.m. Wonderful. Should we say last call for questions?
Yes.
Not the last call, because you can absolutely contact us at any time and we'll get back to you. Last call for today.
Will you let me know by email which package I'm on or not?
Yeah. Who was that? Sorry, Joe. Yes, yeah. I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll do that straight after this. Actually, I'll let you know. No problem.
Are the physios going on this ride like they did on the Pedal to Paris that I did a few years ago?
We don't have physios on this ride, but we do have about 10 very fancy massage guns, which are lovely. Don't be scared of them. They work a treat, I promise you.
Who's going to rub my feet?
That is one of the things I think we're probably going to put on the no laundry and no feet rubbing. I'm sorry, guys. We're drawing a line there. Oh, we've had a few more come in. Leah, are you confirming the dates that the event that you're booked onto, or oh, your brain's fried. Same. Do you just want to clarify, Lee, that you want to check which event you're on? Let us know. Carl, is anyone going to Poppy Ride next week? I am. It's going to be really good. Hope to see you guys there. Other people might put their hand up for that one. And raise your hand if you're going to Poppy Ride next week. Sounds like Carl's going to be there. Oh, there we go. Carolyn's going to be there. Awesome. Can I ask if guests can join me for the evening meal at Dover? Yes, that's fine. It's kind of too late to add anything to our booking because we've already booked with the restaurant. But if they just want to come along, order themselves and pay for themselves and sit with us, that's perfectly fine. Absolutely. Oh, lots of yeses for Poppy Ride. Oh, sorry, Lee, and yeah. Lee, I'm a little bit concerned you don't know which ride you're on, but we will find out for you. Can you have a look at that one, Erin?
Yeah, I just direct messaged you, Lee. You are on that one, the 25th, no, I'm getting confused. The 23rd to the 25th. Yes. Or the 22nd, depending when you're coming.
Awesome. We've got Lee sorted. Yeah, I know it's been a long day. Yeah. On that note, it is really the last call for questions. I think everyone's brains are fried by the sounds of it.
That was a lot of information. So thank you for sticking with us. Great. Brilliant. Well, yeah, as Kate said, definitely drop us an email, give us a call if you do think of anything else. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time out this evening. I hope we've answered any and all of your questions that you had. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you all next month and some of you next week by the sounds of it as well. So great. Brilliant.
Thanks, guys. Really looking forward to meeting you all in person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my God. Oh.